All right. As I said that there are three things, which is input, process, and your output, right? So no problem. All right. So what we do here is we will take up a example and we will code it right from the beginning. Okay, we will write a proper code. Also, we will understand the deeper insights of how does it look like as a mathematical expression. So I'll take the same example which we did, yes, just now, which is of creating a system which can actually add two numbers. Okay, so I think we already did that, right? So we know there are already existing systems which is calculator, obviously. If you say 2 plus 2, it will give you 4 as answer. So how it is different from a intellectual machine? So we call that as a computer, okay, which is a raw machine where you are giving input, also the system. Okay, then it is producing your output. But how it is different from a machine learning or a artificial intelligence system? So what does an artificial intelligence system will do? So here, what we do in our case is that we will provide 2 and 2 as input. We will not provide what is this model. Okay, we will not let the system know that what is this model. And we will also provide what is my output. So I have given 2, 2 as input, and I have also given the output. It should produce me saying that this is the symbol which you are actually looking out for. Okay, which is plus. Okay, which is the addition. So you might say that this might not be true every time, right? Because now in this case, I have two possibilities. So I have one possibility which is 2 plus 2 as 4. I have one more possibility which is 2 into 2 as 4. Okay. So this can also be output and this can also be output. There are two methods. There are two outputs which we will get. Now, how do you eliminate this one and how do you come to a conclusion? This is this one only. For example, for that purpose, what you have to do is that you have to take more number of data points. So what I mean by more number of data points, you have to take 3, comma 2, and you have to also give the output, which is 6, sorry, which is 5. Now, you might have more than one possibilities, but only one possibility is viable in this case. Only one possibility, which is plus, is viable. Multiplication is not viable. The reason being, I will not be able to multiply 2 and 2 to get 5, right? Because if I'm multiplying 2 and 3, I am expecting 5 as an answer is not the right way. But you might come up with one more thing, okay? That 2, 2 can be 4, 3, 2 can be 4 without adding them. So is there any such equation which will create 4 as an output without adding 2 and 2? Without adding 3 and 2, will we be able to create an equation? So I'll tell you how. Let's say I have taken something like this. 0 into first output, which is my 2, plus 2 into my second output, which is 2, which is also equal to 4, right? So now, how many relations are coming down here? This is one relation, this is one relation, this is one. There are 3 symbols are coming down. What I mean by 3 symbols of 3 relations? Here, I have to multiply a standard value, which is 0, with my first value, which is first input here, this one, okay? Then I have to multiply my other value, which is my 2, which is my standard value, with the second input, which is this 2. So how does my equation looks like? My equation simply looks like something like this: 0x plus 2y equals to my output. I am calling my output as z. Let it be. Okay. So 0 is a constant value, 2 is a constant value, output is a constant value. This should be satisfiable for all other equations. Okay. So let's check whether it is satisfied for the second data point also. So what is the second data point? 0 into x. X is nothing but 3 in our case. Can you see this one? X is nothing but 3. So I'm giving 0 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by y, which is my 2. So is it producing me the exact outcome which is saying about 5, right? So the actual expected outcome should be 5. Is it equal to 5? So you might be wondering that, yes, 0 into 3 plus 2 into 2 is not equal to 5. So it is equal to 4 again. So this is producing 4, which makes sense, but this is producing 4, which will not make sense because my expected output is 5. My actual output is 4. So this is not equal. So I will say that this relation which I am just creating, which is nothing but first 0 multiplied with our first input, adding with 2 multiplied with our second input. This relationship, we are calling it a system. So this system is useless. That means this system is not producing the actual result based on my input data. So if you just keep on doing it, there are so many relationships. It's not just multiplication, addition, summation, right? In mathematics, there are so many things, even exponent values. If you take an exponent value of 2 power 2, okay, let's say 2 power x plus 2 power x plus, let's say 2 power x plus 3 power y. Let's say this is my relationship, which is equal to z. That means I am taking x and y as my input to produce my output. So what is the answer here? 2 power x is nothing but 2 power 2 plus 3 power y is nothing but 3 power 2. So is it yielding me the right answer? Now check out. 2 power 2 plus 3 power 2, which is going to be 9 plus 4, which is equals to be 13, but not equal to 4. But I'm expecting it to be 4, but I'm getting it as 13. So 4 is obviously not equal to 13. Then the system will say that this equation, okay, which you are producing is not actual equation. Okay, so we are actually deleting two equations. One equation is 0 multiplied with x plus 2 multiplied with y, which is equal to our z, is also not viable. Similarly, 2 power x plus 3 power y is also not viable. So I have eliminated two equations. Similarly, how many equations you can create with two different type of variables? There are infinite possibilities, right? I can do 2 into 2, 1 into 2, 3 into 2, 5 into 2. I can do x into 1, x into 5, x into 10. I can create infinite number of relationships between my x and y. Now you might be wondering that, okay, if you are able to create these many number of equations or these many number of systems which will satisfy your input and output, or which might satisfy your input and output, how will you come to a conclusion that addition of 2 and 2 will produce 4, addition of 3 and 2 will produce 6, 5? So is it going to be very difficult for a system to figure out relations between input such that I'll be getting the proper output? Now you might be wondering that how my system will be able to produce the proper output, saying that adding 2 packages of sugar and 2 packages of tea bags and 1 packet of milk is going to produce the best taste. So tomorrow in future, okay, we might get a we might come to such a stage that we have a system, we have a bot, okay, we have a robot. All you have to do is that you have to give your tea to the robot, and robot will taste a sip of it, and it will tell you that you have added 3 packets of milk, 1 packet of this one and 1 packet of that one. So imagine how deep we can think about it. Okay, so now let's take the same thing as a real-time application. So as I said that I have added 2 packets of milk. Okay, I've added 2 packets of milk. I'm calling it as M. Anyways, so I've added 2 packets of tea bags. I have added, let's say, sugar as 1 packet. Let's say I'm giving it to my system, which is my bot, and bot will tell you that this is not tasty at all. Okay, this is worst taste which you have produced. Okay, let's not worry how system is able to take the taste. Okay, let's say there is a taste sensor which we have built. Okay, there is one sensor, we will call it as taste sensor, which will come to a conclusion and it will rate from 1 to 9, saying that this is worst taste, the taste which you have produced. So let's say I'm getting 5 for this one. Now you might want to change the input. Okay, now you might feel that, okay, I will change number of milk packets from 2 to 3, number of tea bags from 2 to 5, number of sugar packets from 1 to 2. So what you will do in this case, you will change the parametric changes. This is nothing but tuning the parameters. Okay, technical term for this one is tuning the features, that is feature tuning. So in my case, what I did, I have converted my number 2 to number 5, number 2 to number 3, number 1 to number 2. So by doing this method, I have got it something like 7. So now I will go back to the previous case, which is 5. Now I have got the new case, which is 7. Now I will understand between these two cases. Okay, 5 is better or 7 is better? Yes, 7 is better. By changing what method or by changing what number I have received, I have got 7. By changing milk to 3 times or 5 by 2 times. Okay, if you change the milk to 5 by 2 times, you have got 5. If you change tea bags plus 1, you have got 3. If you double sugar bags, you have got 2. So this way I have changed my input parameters and I have come to a conclusion saying that it is better tastier, or it is tastier than the previous case. Okay, now you understood by changing which parameter the taste is being increased. Now, unfortunately, what if this has become, instead of becoming 7, what if this has become 2? In this case also, you will understand that yes, by changing milk so much drastically from 2 to 5, which is more than double, by changing tea, by changing sugar, I am reducing the quality of my output. So what I will do in this case, I will tune the parameters lesser, because earlier I tuned it more such that I have got good results. But I understand that it's not good results. I have got it very bad results. Then I will slowly tune it back. Okay. So in next case, what I will do, if I'm getting 2 as an answer, in the next case, I will simply go back and change the parameters, something like this. Okay, I will make it something like 4. I will make something like, because 3 is making it worst, so I will make it 1. So 1 is making it worst, so I will change it to 0.5 packets of sugar only. So in this case, let's say you have got good results. Okay, let's say you have got 8 as results. Now you understood. Yes, by adding 4, 1, 0.1, 0.5, I'm getting the best results. Okay, then I'm in all these cases, remember, in all these cases, I'm keeping my system as static. I'm not changing any parameter values in my system, which is I'm not changing the bowl, I'm not changing the temperature, I'm not changing the time, I'm not changing any of those parameters which are there inside the system. So this entire process, what I'm doing is system analysis. Okay, by changing parameters of input, what is the number of changes or what is the amount of changes I am getting at the output. So this model which I am talking about is having a lot of inputs and a lot of outputs, right? So this is known as data preprocessing. So what I will do in data methods is that I will take M, T, S as my input. I will take, let's say, coffee, right? C as my output. So this is my data, which is my Excel sheet. Okay. Every day I've come to my shop, I've created this tea and I've checked out with the taste of that tea. And I myself, instead of calling it as a robot, I myself is tasting it and I'm checking that I'm giving a scale of 1 to 10. Then I have come to a conclusion that this is the best one. Some fine day, maybe after a year or something, after some fine day, I'm come to conclusion that this is the best coffee which I have made throughout my career. Okay. So in this case, what I'm doing, I'm creating all the data points, which is earlier it was 2. I'm talking about this data, the very first one, and 2 and 1. I have received it as 5. So when I have tuned it to 5, 3, 2, okay, I have received it as 2. When I've created 1, 2, sorry, not, it's not 2, I guess, it's 0.5. 4, 1, and 0.5. I have received a value of 8. So let me satisfy with 8 because I am sure that I cannot make a T which is of that range. So let me stop it over there. So I have come to a conclusion. This is the best system among all the values, right? So tomorrow, let's say I want to make it for 10 people instead of making it for 5 people, which I did earlier. So what I have to do, I simply have to change these parameters. It is 4, right? Now I have to take 8 bags of milk. So 1 pack of tea and tea powder and 1 pack of, sorry, 2 packs of tea powder and 1 pack of sugar. So simply I'm doubling it out. So, but now, is there any relation between your input and output, which will become your equation? Because if you're able to produce that equation, you can apply any number of parameters into it. And if you're changing it for 10 people to 25 people, if my business is going very good, so if I'm producing, let's say 250 people coffee in a day, so how I'll be able to come to a conclusion that how many number of packets of milk has to be done? So that process, that equation has to be there. Now, in a simple term, What is the relation between 4, 1 and 0.5? Let's say the relation between 4, 1 and 0.5 is something like this. 4, okay. The relationship is something like this. Okay, we will create the relationship of X, or we will call it as M plus, let's say 2 into T, let's say, okay, because there are so many other ways we can write the same equation, plus S into the numbers, right? So 0.5 is my actual answer. So I will call it as 2, 4 plus, almost it has become 2 plus 4, 6, 6. Again, I need 2 more. 2 more ka matlab 4. I have to multiply it 4. So 4 into S. This is my static equation. Now, every time, okay, if you're taking up 1 packet of milk, you have to take 2 packets of this one and 4 packets of this one. Then you will be getting the best, tastier coffee. So if you're taking this as 1 parameter, this has to be 2 parameters, this has to be 4 times. So every single time you have to keep that as a equation. So you might ask me that how did we come down to these numbers? Okay, I did simple thing. Put M, which is 4 here in this equation, put 1 here in this equation, put 0.5 in this equation. So you will be end of the day coming into 8 as your answer. Okay, because 4 plus 2 into 1 is 2, 6, 6 plus 4 times of 0.5 is again 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 4 is 6, 8. Okay, that is what my equations. So the entire machine learning method or the entire AI method is to generate this equation. That's all. So if you are able to figure out how to create a relation between inputs such that I will get the proper or desired output at my end. So that is how you will create any model. Now there are so many mathematical representations out here. I cannot tell you that how did I come to a conclusion that I have to take only these 3 inputs as data points. Will I be able to take more number of data points and then I'll figure out. And what if I'm taking only 3 data points? What happens if I'm taking only 3 data points? I might not be able to produce the right equation, because as there are 3 parameters, there could be even multiple other relationships also possible. For example, M plus 2T plus 4S is also true, or you can even create something like 2M plus 0T plus 0S is also true. Can you see? Because 0 times is 1 again 0, 0 times 0.3 is again 0, 2 times M is, which is 8, which is again true. So I get multiple such kind of relationships. So I cannot say that this is the true relationship. But now the ultimate goal of us or the system's goal is to create the right equation instead of creating multiple equations. Now there is the second step. We will call it as gradient descent. Okay, which is known as understanding which is the coefficient of these values. Now, what is the coefficient here? This is 1. What is the coefficient here? This is 2. What is the coefficient here? This is 4. So am I correct? I am correct, obviously. Here also, what is the coefficient here? Which is 2. Here coefficient is 0. Here also coefficient is 0. Am I correct? Yes, I am still correct because I am getting the 8 as output. So between 2, 0, 0, 1, 2, 4, which is the right coefficients? I can get hundreds of, or in fact, infinite number of such coefficients available out there. So, but which coefficient I should stop with? Which is going to produce the right results? That is known as gradient descent. Okay. So let me tell you one thing. I think I am making it complicated in the very beginning state, because that is what I'm saying. More people or most of the people are getting confused with the programming as AI. No, it's not programming, which is more needed for development of AI. It is more of mathematics, because there is one thing called as curve fitting in our engineering. If you're an engineer, or maybe in your intermediate or 10th grade also, there is a method called as curve fitting. Okay, which is a part of machine learning method, where you will be able to figure out which curve is going to be the actual curve. So I'll give you a simple example. Why? Because I have taken example of curve fitting. So let me put it in a diagrammatical way. So for example, if you're taking, let's say, 2 parameters only. If I'm giving coffee and tea, and will I be able to produce the good, sorry, if I'm giving sugar and let's say sugar and coffee powder, okay, I'll draw a graph between these two, and let's say, will I be able to get the good tastier coffee or not? Okay, so I'm putting it in the graphical representation terms. So let me call my x-axis as coffee powder or tea bags. I can call it as tea bags, call as tea, and I will call my y-axis as sugar. Okay, I will represent my good coffee with the blue color here. Okay, so if I'm adding one to, let's say I'll add so many number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags. Okay, I'll stop it here. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags of tea. Okay, let me stop it here. So people, now you can see that, let's say I am adding 4 bags of tea powder and 4 bags of sugar. I'm getting the tastier coffee. Okay, let me say that the tastiest coffee has red color. Okay, this is my nice coffee. Okay, similarly, if I'm adding 5 bags of tea and 5 bags of sugar, I'm getting the best coffee. Okay, which I am calling it as red. Similarly, if I'm adding 3 is to 3, I'm getting the best coffee. 2 is to 2 is also nice coffee, and 1 is to 1 is also getting very nice coffee. Okay, but what on maybe on some day I wanted to test out with something like 4 bags of tea and 1 bag of coffee, the sugar. Okay, tea powder and sugar, which is a very worst decision for me, which I'm calling it as black color. So 5-1 is also very bad decision. 6-3 is also very bad decision. Okay, let's say 2-4 is also very bad decision, which is coming somewhere here. 5-3 is also very bad decision. Okay, now this is the representation of our data. I did not do anything. Okay, whatever is there in the previous table, I'm bringing it down to the representation, which is data point. Okay, which I'm putting it in the graphical representation. Simple. So now what is happening in our case here is, I want to create a mathematical representation. In future also, I should come to a conclusion that how many number of tea bags has to be added, how many number of sugar packets has to be added, such that I'll be getting the proper output. So let's say in future, I have come to a conclusion that yes, 10 tea bags I have, how many number of sugar packets I should add. Now you can simply say by looking at the graph that yes, 10 tea bags if you have, you must add 10 sugar packets, then you will get the best coffee. Now the question is that data will not be same for everything. Okay, now there are one more parameter I have got, which is third parameter, which I was calling it as tea bag, sugar, and milk also. So now what happens if I'm adding milk? Where should I put it in these data points? So will I be able to put it as a separate data, or will I be able to create a 3-dimensional value? If I'm creating a 3-dimensional value, which is also having one more dimension, I have to draw it in 3D manner, which is like milk. Okay, but will I be able to show it on screen here? Okay, because it's a 3D thing which has to be somewhere on the air. I'll not be able to represent it properly. What if there are 10 parameters? Because in case of creating a tea, a proper coffee, there are no 2-3 parameters. There are so many other parameters. What are all the other parameters? Are you getting tea from one, maybe Arukya, or are you getting it from Dodla Dairy? Okay, because there is a difference between those two coffees. Okay, you might get good coffee in one company or maybe a bad coffee in another company. Okay, so you might be getting so many other such parameters. You might be telling me that yes, toned milk and what do we call as other milk? I don't know. Non-toned milk, let it be. Okay, so or you might be having parameters such as tea. Am I using Gemini tea powder as tea bags, or I am using Red Label as a tea bag? So there could be so many such parameters. You might come up with 10 different such parameters. Okay, if you are using 10 different parameters, where do you plot this graph and come to a conclusion that yes, my relation between tea, coffee is this one. Sorry, tea, bags and sugars is this one, milk and all the other places is this one. So how do you create that environment? That is what is known as multivariant machine learning model. So it's simple. If you are having more than one input and more than one output, okay, that is known as multivariant. So it will be very much complicated to understand if you are not much good in, not much into mathematical representation of any data form. I'm not saying that you must be genius in mathematics and you must understand everything fluently. All I'm trying to say is that you just have to understand how to put all these things together. So this is a very basic understanding which I think I have given. But let me take questions if you have any questions, or else we will. I'll give you another example if you want me to. Just put up anything on the chat box. I'll more than happy to answer. Or let me directly jump onto the presentation which I have given earlier. Just shout out, guys. Tell me, would you like to have extension of the examples, or you want me to continue with the presentation, which will tell you the other parameters which I was talking about, career aspect of other things. So yeah, so this is a very important factor here. What is the difference between all these things? Okay, what is the difference between deep learning, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence? Okay, simple. Artificial intelligence is a big sphere. Okay, inside that, machine learning is a method. Okay, inside machine learning, there is something called as deep learning. Deep learning deals with the a complicated data. Simple terms. Actually, that could not be the right definition of what deep learning is. But as you're the beginners, then I could say that deep learning is all about dealing with the very complicated data such as videos, images, audio, because audio is a complicated data. Now I was talking about very simple data, which is a CSV Excel sheet, right? So inputs are there, output is there. There is an Excel sheet. I'm just giving it to the process, and it is generating some output out there, which is a very basic model. But in this case, in case of deep learning, there could be a huge complicated data set. You have to deal with huge complicated data such as images, videos, or large extended data. So now when you're talking about data science, I was talking about data earlier when I'm giving you an example of T and all these things, right? So 2, 4, 5. So how do you come to a conclusion that I have to take 4 but not 5? Okay, how do you come to a conclusion that yes, 5 is giving more bias? I mean, 5 is making it more complicated than making it simple, or 5 is making it more towards wrong decision or towards bad taste of tea than 3. So these things, okay, these number aspect or data pre-processing aspect will come into data science. Okay, data science is purely deals with numbers or maybe the data points. Okay, for example, I'm talking to you. Okay, this is basically a kind of communication between you and me here through a platform called as Zoom. How will I be able to convert my voice, okay, which I'm talking to you, as I'm talking to you, how will I be able to convert my voice to numbers? Because I have to convert numbers, I have to convert everything to numbers, then only I'll be able to create a data, right? So because data has to be converted to numericals such that I will be able to generate a relationship between two different type of digits. But what if I'm speaking to you and I'm speaking to you in Telugu and English, Hindi, and all languages all together? Will you be able to convert it into data which is representing a number? So I need to have that method of converting any language to a digital representation of it, such that I'll be able to create a relationship between them. So that all comes under data science. So data science purely deals with the way you will convert a real-time parameter to a mathematical representation or a number representation of the data. That is all about data science. So when you talk about machine learning, creating intelligence to machine, okay, like as I said that there are inputs, outputs. Okay, if you're giving input, output, if you're able to create the system, that is known as machine learning. So let's say there is one more simple example I would like to give you in a minute, okay, with which I can assure you that you have probably understand data science in a proper way, or maybe sorry, machine learning in a proper way. So simple thing. Now, if I have Fahrenheit and centigrades, okay, this is a very basic example which I am very much interested in sharing with the people. So centigrades and Fahrenheit, right? Okay. So for example, what is 0 centigrades? I know that it is 32 Fahrenheit, right? So if I'm having 1, it is somewhere around 35 or something. If I'm having minus 40, I've got minus 40 here, because at minus 40 both are same. So now you might come to a conclusion that what is the relation between these two? I've given input. This is my input, right? I've also given my output, which is my Fahrenheit value. So my input is centigrade, my output is Fahrenheit. Now you tell me that what is the relation between these two, such that I have to create an equation which is my machine learning model. Okay, anytime in the future also, if I'm giving some other input such as 50, I should get the output saying that this value is some XYZ value. Okay, how will I be able to predict the future? So you have heard that machine learning is something which can predict the future, which is be very much useful in stock markets, which will be very much useful in cricket game, IPL games, and all these things also. Now I can create, if you are giving me such, enough data, I'll be able to figure out and tell you that which player is going to play good, or which team is going to win in the next IPL match, or which country is going to win in a particular athletic match. Because this is what is data. If you're having proper number of inputs, I'll be able to generate the future data also. So that is what is future 50 degrees. In future, I'm getting 50 degrees. I want to create that, I want to create a system which will automatically give me output by creating a relation between those two parameters. So you already know that what is the relation between those two parameters. Fahrenheit is nothing but 1.8 times of centigrade plus 32. This is the relation which we are already aware of. But you are coming up with this relationship because you're already aware of the relation between centigrade and Fahrenheit. What if you're not knowing that relationship? Your machine learning model should come up with this value, which is 1.8 as one parameter, 32 as another parameter. Okay. And there is one more thing called as plus here and also multiplication here. So these four values, okay, these four parameters, if you're able to generate it, that is known as machine learning. So I will give some other random input, okay, which may not even make sense. Okay, let's say I have some value called as x here. Let's say, which I am calling it as my input, and I have another value called as y, which is my output. Let's say I'm giving 2, I have got 8. If I'm giving 5, I've got, let's say, 125. If I'm giving some other value, then let's say I've got some other value. Let's say, what if I'm giving 10? What should be the value of my output? Okay. So you will not be able to figure out what is the basic relation between these two things until and unless you have a proper machine learning model which is being fed, and it will come down to a conclusion. So in simple terms, what is this method? I am giving my input and I am generating. I am also giving my output. Okay. What is my input? 2, 5 is my input. What is my output? 8, 125 is my output. So what system will do is it will keep on checking out the relation between these two parameters continuously, and it will come to a conclusion that my output is obviously power of 3. Okay, if I'm just simply creating x power 3, which is creating my output. This is basically the relation between my input and output. Okay. So now people, this is one of the examples of machine learning. Now, if you're talking about AI has a lot of other applications such as robotics, IoT, and all these things will also come under artificial intelligence only. So you can put up a message to me, or drop a mail to me, or any other details you can ask. If you have, if you want to talk to me about more of your career guidance or anything else, you can reach out to me at this number. Okay, which is 7075575787. Okay. We also conduct a lot of workshops, which is most of the workshops are free. Some of the workshops are paid, and we also conduct a long-term, class, or you can call it as a coaching session for people who are interested in machine learning. Every month we take up a batch, and we are currently having multiple batches as well. So if you're interested, or if you'd like to know about these things, you can drop a mail as well. So here what I will do is I will send you a link for which with which you will be able to get your digital certificates as well. I'll put it in the WhatsApp group, and we will verify if you are present in this group. Then we will give you the certificates. Thank you for being here. And I did not get any questions. We'll talk about it in the group itself. We have the WhatsApp group, right? We will talk in the group itself. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can come down directly to the group and ask. Yeah. Thank you all.